what we discovered was that we were using the 4 EMA, the 8 EMA, and then the 20 or the 25 thereabout. But I realized that the 4 and the 8, they were very fast. Before they give you signal, they were gone already. So we relaxed it to the 5 EMA, the 20 EMA, and then we added 2 more. The 2 more that we added was the 100 and the 200. And I'll tell you why. So with that, it means that the number of moving averages that we're using has increased. So I decided that I was going to search for another indicator altogether. And this indicator, it has about 4 moving averages together. So when you open one indicator, you can amend it, and it's just one indicator, especially for those who have not upgraded or they have limited indicator access on their TradingView. So we use this indicator, which is called it is called the Khaled. It's called the Khaled moving average. Type this wrong. It's called the Khaled moving average. The Khaled the moving average Khaled EMA/3 SMA. This one. So when you open it, you will not even see anything on your screen, but it's called the Khaled EMA/3 SMA. So in all, you've got 4 of them in there. So when you open it now, you have to go into the settings to set it up. You get inputs. In the inputs, this is the first EMA. The second one is the SMA, third, and then fourth. But you need to highlight, tick them to see them on your screen. So you see now that you've ticked them, you can see them all on your screen. But we need to edit them. We need to edit them with the same colors as the ones we were using before. But in this case, we will be using, instead of the 4, we'll be using the 5. Instead of the 8, we'll be using the 20. Instead of the 20, we'll be using the 100. And then we've added 1 more, which is the 200. And I'll explain why. Now, when you change them here, the 5, 20, 100, and 200, you go into the style. The style also corresponds exactly to the inputs that you have here. So the first style, the first one is the first EMA. The second one, which is 20, is the second EMA here, the SMA. The third, which is the 100, is this one, the second SMA. The way they've done it, you need to just only follow through. That's all. And then the last one is the last one here. These colors that we have here, this green color is when the moving average is pointing up or is going up. This is the color of the moving average. But for the EMA, we want it to be just one color. So this color, when the moving average is coming down, it is this color. But we don't want it to show as different colors when it's going up or it's coming down. This one is when the moving average is flat, which means it's not going up, it's not coming down, it's just flat. But we want everything to be one color. We knew that originally the 4 EMA, it was this thing yellow. So we maintain our yellow throughout. When it's moving up, it should be yellow. When it's coming down, it still be yellow. And then when it's also going down, it should still be yellow. We will pick the thinnest line on all 3. So we pick the thinnest line on all 3, and it's yellow, yellow, yellow. Okay. So that is the original 4 EMA that we have. Then now it is the 5. Okay. So then we come to the next one. The next one, which is the 20. It was originally the 8. So the 8, we had this kind of off-white color for it. We want it to be the same color when it's going up, when it's coming down, and when it's flat for that one. So we select it, we take the thinnest line, we move the color indent to the end. Second one, we select the same one. Janelle, are you following?
Yes, I am. I'm just
Yeah.
muted, that's why, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think there's many people, so it's just me and you, and the others are just watching them.
Okay.
Right. So this is the second one,
Mm-hmm.
and then we would just select the thinnest line. This is the color. The third one to the same. This is the color. So for the first, which is now the 5, and then the previous one, which was 8, and it is now the 20, they
Yeah.
have one color. Do you understand?
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to show you them on the screen right now, and then you realize that they have one color. So you can see now that they have this the yellow and
Okay.
this the off-white. Do you understand? Now
Mm,
let's go back into the settings again and continue. So in the settings, inputs originally 5, 20, 100, 200. Style, we had yellow for the 5 EMA, 20 for the 20 SMA, and then this one, which is the third one, we want the colors to change. Do you understand? What
okay.
we want to do is when the price is going up, we want the color to be blue, right? And then we want to select the second thickness.
Yeah.
And then when it is coming down, we want the price to be purple. Do you understand? Indent it fully and then select the second thickness. And then when it is flat, we still want it to be purple. Simple as that.
Okay.
Purple, indented fully, second thickness. So we have blue for going up, purple for coming down, purple when it is flat. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the third one. So then let me show you that on the screen. And this one is the what? Is the input 100, the SMA 100.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I'm going to bring up the color scheme in a second. And I'll
Okay.
put the color scheme in this thing. So the third one, so now you can see it clearly on the screen. Let me just okay it. You can see this is the 100 EMA.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
blue and purple. So we have now the yellow, the white, and then the blue and purple, which is the 100 EMA. Now let's go back and pick the 200. This is the 200. The 200 is the last one. When you come into the style, you can see it here. We want the 200 to be regular, green, and red. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Just that we want the indent to be the second indent, full, and then how to call it? This one, sorry, this is the red. Let it go full, and let be the second, and then third, let it be red. Let it go full, and let it be the second. Who's that? Oh, Michael. Michael is now coming.
Oh, my brother. Yeah, I had to send him a reminder.
Yeah, Michael. Hello, Michael. So now you save as default. Do you understand? And it's okay. Now, once you save as default, you're going to get 4 EMAs on it, but it is just one indicator. The indicator, as we said, is called colored EMA / 3 SMA. I keep repeating myself so that people will just catch up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, it's a way of teaching to reinforce stuff. Now, we have all three here. Now that we have all three here, what we are looking for now is putting on our psychological levels. We don't even need the psychological levels now. What we need technically is the key levels. Do you understand? So, for example, we have the key levels that we generated either from the 16th hour, or sometimes you can use the day as you choose. So we just put on our key levels, right? Now that we know this thing, let's go back to our regular coin. We're using AVAX, weren't we?
Yeah.
I've done this on Bitcoin, but we're using AVAX. So
Yeah.
now let's go to the 1 hour and I'll demonstrate what that means in the 1 hour. So let's close all the psychological levels. Let's bring up the key levels, or let's even close them for now. Now, what we are looking at now is you can clearly see that. Let me expand it a little bit. Let me move this up. So Okay. You can clearly see that the green and the red is the 200 moving average.
Yeah.
Yes. The blue and the purple is which one?
Is it's going down. So
the blue and the purple, what EMA is that? Or what SMA is that?
20, is it 20?
So let's go back a few. So we have the 5.
Oh yeah, 100, sorry.
What color is that?
Yeah, yellow.
We have the 20. What color is that?
White.
We have the
SMA.
100. What color is that?
Blue and purple.
Blue and purple. And then we have the 200. Let me just bring this up quickly, and then we know it. And then this should be file opened, open recentness, a trading plan. So that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so this is what it is. The 5 it used to be 7. We changed it to 5. 5 EMA is yellow. The 20 is what? White. The 100 is a purple and blue.
Okay.
And then the 200
Mm-hmm.
is the thing. Yeah, I need to even change it the other way. Let me change it. So it should be blue and purple and green and red. As simple as that. All right. So the same thing, 100. So we know it now. So when we come here, we come to the screen here. What we're looking at is those lines which are moving.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the 1 hour as usual. So it is still the 1641. We get our 16 from the 16 hour, right? Simple. Nothing has changed. What has changed is the indicator, all in one indicator, and then we've changed the moving averages. Now look very, very carefully. I'm going to put a line on it, and then stop trading this. Finish trading for the day. So let me put a line on it, and I'll show you. First, let me take off the 100 SMA first, and then I'll bring it back later on. So if I'm taking off the 100 SMA, this is the 100. I untick it, and then it gets lost, right? Now, so this is the 200 SMA. When you look carefully, and we're only talking about the 200 SMA for now. Oh, what is happening here? I need to shut my alerts. Okay. When you look very carefully, yeah, anytime the price action, or not even the price action per se, but the 5 EMA, anytime it crosses the 200 EMA, we are clearly in a downtrend. Anytime, look here, anytime the 5 crosses the 200, we are in a clear uptrend. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, it crossed down, but it just crossed back up. So like here, anytime we cross, we're in a clear uptrend. Anytime we cross, we're in a clear downtrend. Anytime we cross, we're in a clear uptrend. We cross, we're in a downtrend here, just for this portion. We cross, we're in an uptrend. We cross, we're in a downtrend. We cross, we're in an uptrend. Now, you can just trade this one, yeah?
Yeah.
Waiting for just the big ones to cross, the 5 to cross the 200, and you're in. And then what would you use to take your profit? Psychological levels. Do you understand? Alternatively, we can trade this thing like how we were trading the 1641, but I'll show you that. So on the 1 hour, we are in the 1 hour. Anytime the EMA 5 crosses the 200, we are in an uptrend. Anytime it crosses down, we are in a downtrend. So we can trade down only. Do you understand? Till you get to maybe a psychological level or a key level. Let's find one. You see? Trade down to a key level. It crosses, buy. You're trading up to that. It
Yeah.
crosses, you aim to trade down here. It crosses again, you just trade to this point. You see, it hits it and it retraces, and then buy across. So when it crosses, you're all the way up there. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So anytime it crosses, you can just trade it that way. But that means it will take a bit of time for you to make those big gains, which is fine. There's a strategy. Now, let's take the 200 off. For those who like the 4-2 strategy, let's come here. We take the 200 off, put on the 100, and then we move to the 4-hour time frame. So we are in the 4-hour. This is the 100. In the 4-hour, anytime the EMA crosses, the EMA 5 crosses the 100 in the 4-hour, and I'm emphasizing in the 4-hour, when it crosses, we are clearly in an uptrend. When it crosses, we are in downtrend. When it crosses, we are in uptrend. When it crosses, it crosses from here, there, we are clearly in a downtrend all the way down. Now, that is the strategy that we came up with. We are trading with it already. It's very juicy strategy. I've traded with it the whole of the week, and it's very good. So we decided that we were going to relax the moving averages because that would make life a little bit more easy. And then when we do that, you still will confluence it with TDI, and I'll show you how to confluence with TDI in a second. So let's review whatever we said up till this point. I'm going to bring the 200 back on, and then we are going to move into the 1 hour. So when you are in the 1 hour like that, you then will choose which time frame you will trade in. Some people say we want 4 hour, some people say we want 2 hour, and I know people have the choice like that. It's not a problem. What then it is we said that to review what we've done so far, let's clear the price actions and talk about these ones. We said that we are now using an indicator which would give us more than one moving average. Why? Because that would save us the grief of bringing on more moving averages, and those who don't have the updated trading view, they could still be in the free trading view and use this one. Okay, so now what we have done is we have brought this moving average, which has multiple, because then I knew I have to do that work, but I couldn't find the right one. I've been searching and searching, which has multiple. And in this multiple, we have still maintained the two colors. Originally, our yellow line was the 4 EMA, but now it is what? The 5 EMA.
Yeah.
Our white line was the 8 EMA, but it is now the 20.
Yeah.
And then we added these ones. The ones we added is the 100 and then the 200.
Yeah.
The 100 is the blue and the purple, whilst the 200 is the green and the red. Okay. If one wants to trade in the 1 hour, then you can decide to turn off the 100, right? If you want to trade in the 4 hour, then you can decide to turn off the 200. However, you can leave them both on as some form of confluence. Do you understand? Confluence meaning that it crosses the 100 and it crosses the 200. So you know we are clearly in a downtrend. Now, let me bring this back. Now, let me show you how we can trade this. Is Michael there? I can hear him.
Yeah, Michael, I'm here.
Yeah. So let me show you guys how we can trade this. And this one I've been trading it. It's seriously nice. So what we are saying is that the 20 EMA, I'm now about to talk about the 20 EMA. The 20 EMA is our dynamic trend line.
Yep.
It's our what? Dynamic trend line. So for example, normally we say we'll go and take a trend line like this, and then we'll put it on the charts like that. And then we'll take another trend line, sub trend line, and put it on the charts like that. Okay, which is fine. We can still put trend lines on if we choose to, But the 20 is our dynamic trend line. It comes, it hits the 20, bounces back. It hits the 20, it bounces back. Okay, so imagine that we want to trade this on the very long term. Let's say we're in the 4 hour and we want to trade this from one key level to the other. Once we cross this, we retest again. Do you understand? But what will make you go into the trade is you can use TDI to call you if you're not looking at the charts. You can just tell TDI that please call me anytime it crosses, just call me. You know what I mean? Because the point then was when it crossed here. And then you can see that the 5 EMA was clearly below the 20 EMA. If you look at the screen, let me expand it. The 5 EMA there, it crossed there. The 5 EMA was clearly below, and then it came to hit it. When it hit it straight, it came down. You know what I mean? So you could have just taken first profit here, and then it goes back again. When it went back, you see TDI crossed back. So when TDI crossed back up, you can decide to go into the trade and pick the trade from the top. Or alternatively, you can just observe the candles. TDI it was sideways and sideways, and so you could just be in the trade. Put your stop loss somewhere far and let it ride down. Alternatively, when TDI is crossed up, it crossed up here, you could just observe, because this now becomes this thing. You can wait for TDI also to cross down, that we are going in the direction, and then you come in. So you can either decide to be a high risk taker by when TDI crosses up, you just say, okay, I'm going to pick it from the top, you know what I mean, down, or you can be a conservative person for TDI to cross down before you go into the trade, right? So TDI crosses down, you go into the trade, and I'll show you where you take your profit. Now TDI crosses up again, you are waiting for TDI to cross down, then it calls you, see, it calls you when this thing crosses down, and then you go into the trade, straight down. You know what I mean? So that is one way if you are trading it with TDI. You can also decide that, okay, the best way to trade this is simple. When this thing says, I have crossed, you wait for the retracement, you go into the trade, you put your stop loss behind the moving average, that's the 100 moving average, and then leave it to ride till this point. But then that would be a long trade. So you would have gone in somewhere there, and then you wait for about 2 days, 4 hours, not even that. You wait for about, let's say 1.5 days or 2 days, let's say. And then you make 7% in those 2 days. Do you understand? Alternatively, you could trade it in when it comes up and it calls you again, you could trade it in all the way. You know what I mean? That is trading it that way. Now, let me bring on the psychological levels to show you how we could trade to the levels on the various ones. So clearly, you can see that even though we crossed here, we crossed the 200 here, we started on psychological level 1. Do you understand? So once it crosses, you can be in the trade and come to psychological level 1 area to take your profit. It goes back again. Do you know what I mean? And when it went back, we were in psychological level 2. You see, it was in psychological level 2 areas. So you can decide to come and take your thing in psychological level 2. Although this one came down to 1 again, retested psychological level 2 again before boom, it went in. You know what I mean? So you can be conservative. If you think it's taking too long, take your profit and then wait for it to bounce back and then go back in. What is guiding you in this instant is the 20 EMA. The 20 EMA is the dynamic support and resistance. I'm going to make it a bit thick because it doesn't seem to stand out. 20. Okay. Now, there's a 20 EMA. So when it hits the 20 EMA, you should expect there to be a reaction. You can wait for TDI to call you and then you go in. Or when it hits the 20 EMA, wait for TDI to call you back. Now we're going in the direction you go in. Come and take your profit. It goes back up. Ignore it. TDI, it goes all the way up. It crosses back. You're in the trade. It started from, I think this is more like psychological level 2. So you come and take it from psychological level 2. If it doesn't go too far, just take it wherever you want to take your profit. It's better to take profit than to risk it. You know what I mean? So here, when you go here, you see you retrace TDI cross back here, and then TDI cross back down again by cross with a huge candle. You know what I mean? So sometimes you can also have your judgment that, okay, the candles have crossed back. You can decide to just catch at the top and ride it. So this started from this main psychological level. You're riding it to this main psychological level. And then you take your money. Now it goes back again. You see TDI crosses up. So you can have a dynamism between TDI and this one. TDI crosses back. It crosses back down here in the trade. It started from psychological level 2. So you come and take your money from psychological level 2. Do you understand? It's a simple, you're not thinking of making all the profit there is in the world anyway. But that is the first approach. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Second approach is we've not even dealt with management, trade management, how to manage a trade, the amount of money you need to put on it. We'll do all those things. Pastor was telling me, Michael, that you've got some friends in Forex.
Yeah, I've got some friends that have been practicing and they want to join the group as well.
Are they trading?
One of them was trading before, but they've stopped, but they're looking to get back into it.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So this is the 1 hour strategy. So you guys should look at it very carefully. And for our group, I want us to look at this, and then everybody is looking at it, and we're coming up with the plans in the sense that plans that is making things, everybody's looking. So if we see one opportunity, we know, because like we've been looking, there are guys that I look at these things with, and then we came up with this thing easily to say that, listen, the other one is very fast. So because it's too fast, let's relax it. Once we've relaxed it, we started making good trades with it. You know, so that's one of them. There's another concept. So now I've increased the thickness of the yellow line. There's another concept on the other hand, which is called the PDS. But I'll show that PDS once this concept is locked in. We need to lock in this concept. We should start trading and making some money before I can add on. Now, this is the 4 hour. And let me take some of the indicators off. All right, so this is the 4 hour, yeah? What we are doing in the 4 hour is very straight and simple. Sometimes we can take the risk, right? In the 4 hour, we are looking at just 100, don't we? So in the 4 hour, we can comfortably close the 200, right? And we say that anytime, look, anytime this thing crosses on the 4 hour, we can go into the trade. So we'll do it from back. So from all the way from here, we were, you see, if you look carefully, I'm gonna switch off this thing. You see the yellow crossed from here, from the top, right? When the yellow crosses from the top in the 4 hour, we can go into the trade and then take our profit from the 100.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because the 100 can serve as a resistance.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because why were we able to do that? We have a confluence. That is, we have a key level.
Yeah.
And then we have candlestick formation there, to the top. It crossed it clearly. So when it crossed it, normally you wait for the retest. Do you understand? You crossed it, wait for the retest on the 4 hour. And then once you get the retest, you go into the trade all the way to the 100, because the 100 can serve as a resistance. But this good enough, it came to the next psychological level. So you would have been in this trade since, let's say, the top here. If you still want to use TDI to call you, TDI cross clearly here. After it's gone up, TDI cross clearly here. So TDI will call you, and then you go into the trade from there or to there. If you are this thing enough, you know that the 20 is the dynamic trend line. So you can pick it from that trend line. So you have two options, either to pick it from here to here, which is about 8%, or be conservative and pick it from there to here, which is about 5%. Do you understand?
Right.
That is what you can do. Alternatively, if you want to use psychological levels to take it. This one, it started from psychological level 2. You look at the onset. Don't look at when you enter the trade. Look at where this thing started. So when this thing started, we started from that level. It retested. Okay, it retested on this level. So we are coming down to take it on psychological level 2. So 1, 2, because we're in a bigger time frame. Yeah. Now it retested again. So when it retested, you see TDI crossed up. So when TDI crossed up, you wait for TDI to cross down. That's the conservative way. TDI cross down, buying. So you be in the trade again. You pick it either on this is the psychological level 2. So you pick it on psychological level 2. If you're daring, you wait to go to the next psychological level. Do you understand? So that is the strategy for the 4-hour. And when you look here, it is the same thing here. You see here, we started the uptrend from, let's say, where was it? We literally started the uptrend here, but the uptrend, it didn't cross, it crossed here. From here to there, people could take the risk because we are on a clear psychological level.
Yeah.
You could see that the 5 crossed the 20. Normally, we want the 5 to cross the 100.
Yeah.
5 crossed the 20. When the 5 crossed the 20, you know that we are bouncing. You need 3 confluences to get you to go into the trade. The first confluence that we have is on a major key level, which is also psychological level.
Yeah.
You see, the first key is on a major key level. So all these places we were in a downtrend. All this we were in a downtrend, you know. When it crossed, you know that, oh, the uptrend is about to start. But you need confirmation. So it crossed, came down, and started going up again. So these two candlesticks, these two, after the retest, these 2 candlesticks give you a tweezer bottom. That's second confirmation. The first confirmation is psychological level. Second confirmation. Third confirmation is the MA is crossing. So when the MA is crossed, normally you want to come and take your profit around the psychological level, which is around the 100 moving average. Do you understand? So you see that when it crossed, bang, it went to 100 moving average, boom, it's coming down. Do you understand? So you take your money there, it comes and retest again. Do you understand? When it retests, you can decide to wait to get, this one is a morning star. Do you see it? Why am I telling you to wait? Because we've not clearly crossed the 100.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because so if we don't cross the 100 becomes the target.
Yeah.
If you are daring of somebody, when it hits this thing, they call it like a tweezer, or sometimes they call it this thing, a pin bar. People go on into trades on this pin bar. You see the book that I sent to you guys, if you had read it, there's a pin bar kind of concept. After pin bar, you can go into the trade. Some people will do that. And I'm doing these things. You know what I mean? You go into it, you can still take it because the 100 EMA is a resistance. You take it around the psychological level there.
Right.
You understand? Once we've clearly crossed it, and we have retested, then we can go into the trade straight to the key level and take it at a key level. Now we are at a key level. What is happening? Sidewaysing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Sidewaysing. So all of this place, you don't bother to trade. When it crosses it, bang, you realize that we are at the key level. We've crossed. We have a tweezer top here. If you even want to wait for this and this thing, Maribozo, you wait for it. A retest, you are in the trade. Where are you taking your profit? You're taking your profit on the 100 or psychological level around the 100. So what would you do? The onset of the thing started possibly on the psychological level when it started there, you see?
Yeah.
The whole trend started there before it crossed. So you'll be looking to take your profit on a similar psychological level. You can come and take it around the 100, which is the psychological level. You take it here. And then a retest, it crosses. Now it crosses the 100. Now it crosses the 100, retest. You can be in the trade straight. Where are you taking your profit? You are moving to the next psychological level. You know, so you start from here, boom, to that psychological level, you take your money. That's the thing. So keep trying this. What we then want to do is to set alerts, right? Based on the hours you choose, you will set an alert. The alert will be that you are either checking this. Some people can say the 4 hour, every 4 hour you're checking. So every 4 hour you come and check a close of candle. Every 4 hour you come and check a close of. So for example, this candle closes clearly. Once it is closed clearly, what you were waiting for is the retest. Do you understand? So the next 4 hour you come and check, oh, it's retested. You wait again. The next 4 hour, oh, we have a Maribozu. You can go into the trade. You went into the trade, it came back again, boom, it take you down. You know what I mean? So when you go into the trade here, where you put your profit and this thing, your stop loss, come and put it on top here. Just in case it wants to come back. Just put it on top there. Because the risk to reward ratio, these are things that we need to move. Because I want us to get a strategy at least before we start getting into these risk. So we went into the trade here. We can put it just on top of the psychological level there. There would be a psychological level in this triangle, or just put it just on top of the triangle. And we are looking to take a profit here. The risk to reward is almost like 3:1. It's 2.79, which is a good risk to reward. And then you take it, this thing, profit, bang. So once you take your profit, now the thing is sideways and again, right? Here we are not sure what is happening. It's sideways and again. So all of this place, you just can stay out of the trade. It crosses clearly here. When it crossed, it came and it gave you a retest. It gave you this tweezer. You can wait for this tweezer, and then we are in up. Boom, you take your money here. And then here was a retest. You see, so now the uptrend has clearly started. It was a retest. So it took some time to come down. Now, you see TDI crosses. You can use TDI crossing, or you just see the tweezer bottom here. You are in the trade, all the way. You see, so when you're in the trade this time, you can either take it here because of the key level, or next psychological level. You take it there. It retests again. Do you understand? So you are trading with the trend. Why? Because 20 EMA say we are going up, 100 EMA say we are going up, and we are in the 4 hour. So you take your time. There was another retest here. And then you can go into the, now that you see that this was happening, you can just, when this thing candle closes, you can just go into it because you see this candle greening up. Or what people do is they will come and put a limit trade here. When this candle comes all the way, it will pick them up and take them to the next level. You know, there are many things you do, but all I'm just trying to say is you have options. The options are simple. Because the candlesticks are printing above the 100 EMA in the 4 hour, we know we are going all the way up. You retest, we are above the 100 EMA. We are still going up. Do you understand? So you would only trade up anytime you get an opportunity, trade up all the way until this point. This point, we could clearly see that. We could clearly see that the 5 is crossed the 20 here. The 5 is crossed the 20. We need what? A retest. We crossed, it retested. Buy, we're in the trade. Where are we taking our profit? On the 100, because of the psychological level on the 100. Why? Because the 5 has not crossed the 100 yet. Now 5 crosses the 100. The candle crosses. We need a retest. Back, we are in the trade. When we are in the trade, where do we take our profit? We'll find the psychological level that it started on. This time, it started on the psychological level 2, which is there, which was the main, this thing, where the 4 was. So if you look at it closely, sorry, 1641, you see, it started there, psychological level 2. We're coming all the way down to psychological level 2. You can take it here and then leave this profit for the people, or you can ride it all the way down, looking at the candlestick patterns, buy, and you're there. So this is just a trick that we've done to the strategy. I'm showing you how to do the alerts on these EMA stuff. So alerts, if you are, for example, you are in the 1 hour, you're using the 200 strategy, yeah? So you go into alerts in the 1 hour, you pick the colored EMA, and then you pick the colored EMA again on value. So we have colored EMA at the top, and then crossing colored EMA. This one is the EMA, that is the 5, yeah? And then the 200 is the EMA 3, right? EMA 3. I'm going to show you that from the alerts on the setting. So this is you see, it's SMA 3. Look, this SMA 3, and that is the 200, right? And then SMA 2 is the what? Is the 100, right? And then SMA without anything on it is a 20. So what we are doing is in the 1 hour, we want the price actions to cross the 200, the 5 to cross the 200, technically. So if the 5 is crossing the 200, you go and set the colored EMA, crossing the colored EMA, and then you want the EMA, which is the 5, to cross the SMA 3, which is the 200. Once pair bar closes, and then you come and you edit your information here. What you say is colored EMA crossing colored EMA, so it's EMA 5. Just edit it. Crossing on, so it's crossing EMA 200, SMA 200. Okay. Crossing SMA 200. So that's all it is. So you can do this as, okay, let's say EMA 5 crossing SMA 200 on, in this case, is the coin, it's the GBP USD.
Yeah.
And then you save it, you create it, and it's there. You know what I mean? So you go and then you go and find it once you create it in your thing. If you want to use the 4-hour strategy, we come here and it is also the same. We know that the 4-hour, we are using the 100 EMA. The 100 EMA is therefore this one. So we have the 1, 2, the 5, the 20. SMA 2 is the 100. So in that case, what you do is you go in, you pick the colored EMA, cross it on another colored EMA, and then you have the EMA, which is the 5, and then here it will be SMA 2, which is the 100. Once pair bar closes, and then you edit it accordingly. The same way as in like EMA 5 crossing EMA 5 crossing SMA 100 in this case. Crossing SMA 100. Okay, on GBP USD, simple thing like that. So this one is the 4-hour. So when it crosses on the 4-hour, it will give you an alert. The other alert that you also want to set in both of them is the 5 crossing the 20. So that if you want to take advantage of the 5 crossing the 20 before it gets like 5 crossing the 20 here, before it gets to this one, you can tell it to just tell you. When it crosses, just call me. So you can just go in there. We know that. Let's review what the 5 is. The 5 is the EMA. Yeah, that's the EMA. And then the 20 is the SMA without anything on it. So when we go into the alert to set it up, it is the colored EMA, crossing colored EMA. The EMA is there, and then this one is a normal SMA. That's the 20. So you come and then you edit it here to tell you exactly what it is. So these EMA 5 crossing SMA. SMA 20. So let's go all the way in. On the 4 hour, and you do the same for the 1 hour. I'm sorry. Okay, on the 4 hour, and then you save it. When you go to the 1 hour, it's the same thing. So you go to the 1 hour, you're setting the 20 to the 5 to cross the 20. Yeah. So setting the 5 to cross the 20 is the same alert. Call it EMA. Call it EMA. So EMA does the 5. This SMA is a 20. You know what I mean? Candle closes. You put it on it. Command V. And then that's it. 1 hour. And then you save it. That's all. So when it crosses, it calls you. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, after it's crossed, let's say it's crossed. You've traded this. Then it crossed the 200. It calls you to come and trade this. You can then decide that, okay, fine. Now what you want to use for the other calls will be the TDI. Because anytime TDI crosses, because it's not every time that you find the 5 crossing the 20. Do you understand? So you can set TDI as well, that whenever it crosses, it should call you to come and see what's happening. You know what I mean? So sometimes this one, clearly, the EMA went and it crossed down, so you can go in. But here, if you want to go into the trade here, you see EMA 5 did not cross. Here, let me expand it. You see the 5, the yellow did not cross the white. Here, the yellow crossed the white, so it would call you. That it will call you. But here, if you want to go into the trade, it didn't cross, so it won't call you. But TDI did cross. TDI does cross almost all the time. You know what I mean? So if TDI calls you, yeah, bam, you can just go and check what's happening. And then, oh, it's a good trade, and you can go into it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So in that case, you can set TDI as usual, as we set it. You go, you select your TDI, select the other TDI, and then we know that it is the fast one crossing the middle one. And then candle closes, and then you go and you edit accordingly, and you say, okay, on the 1 hour, TDI is just crossing something like this. TDI, something like that. TDI crossing on 1 hour. Then you would have the GBP. This one is GBP USD, that kind of thing. But if it's a coin, it's a crypto coin, so it tells you which coin it is. But you save it. That's all it is. So you can set just those two, the major crosses, and then TDI. If you want to work in the 1 hour, then go into the 1 hour and set TDI. If you would want to work in the 4 hour, then go into the 4 hour and set it up there. So when it crosses on the 4 hour, you just come and look, buying, you're in it. When it crosses, you look, buying, you're in it. That kind of thing. You see, so that is all it is. You know what I mean? So this is a simple combination. But I'm open, as many of you that would want to do maybe daily quick, just catch up or anything before we go into trade review. There's a Forex group that the guy is a very good guy to me. So I'll talk to him if you guys want to join that at all. Then that one you get some kind of signal, free signal that you can trade.